YouTube, what is going on? Got a new Benchmade. You see it right there. The 781 Anthem. This is the most expensive Benchmade out there, minus a gold class. And it is a titanium integral, however you want to say that word, frame lock, or not a frame lock, just an integral axis lock. One solid piece of titanium. Not a new thing, but new for Benchmade, and the only one that has an axis lock. So pretty interesting knife. Let's go over the basic specs real quick. You have a 3.5-inch blade of 20 CV steel. You have it's very lightweight. Your blade thickness is 0.112, handle thickness 0.43. It's very slim, less than a ½ inch thick. Like I said, 20 CV steel, 3.66 ounces. Closed length is 4.5, and your overall length is 8, just over 8 inches. So it's a lightweight, slim knife. Sounds like a Benchmade. Now, I was really on the fence with this one. It's a very expensive one for Benchmade. And I went to a local meet, a bunch of knife guys for USN and for our Utah EDC Facebook page at Ryan Weeks' house. Ryan Weeks is a custom knife maker from Utah. And check him out on Instagram and such if you haven't. But we had a meet, and Epic Snuggle Bunny, Austin, had one of these. And I was able to play with it, and it was awesome. I loved it. So I thought, man, I'm going to order one. I'm excited. One thing Austin mentioned is that some people had issues with this knife as far as the centering goes. And I get this today, and sure enough, we are not centered. You can see it favors the right side just to hair, not just a hair, a pretty decent amount. And I've been messing with it, doing everything I can, everything I know how to do to fix centering, and it's not working. Let me adjust the lighting a little bit here. Not getting the bounce off we normally do here with the. There we go. So, a little frustrated there because it's a expensive knife. You shouldn't pay this much for a knife and have it come off-centered, and then not have an easy way to fix it. You can't just simply tighten the pivot. There is no body screws, so you can't loosen the body screws, tighten the pivot. You know, the hinder's trick is to open the blade so far, crank this down, loosen the body screws, and then kind of push the blade wherever you want it, and then you untighten the pivot and tighten the pivot screws, and it works. It's magic. I tried it on this. Can't. The axis lock is attached here with those two screws. Tried loosening those a little bit. Tried messing with the pivot. I have not been able to get it centered, and it's frustrating the flipping heck out of me because it's a pretty expensive knife to not have centering issues. So my first impressions are not great. Let's be honest. You spend this much on a knife, you hope that it leaves the Benchmade factory with a little bit of inspection, and if it's not centered, you say, let's fix that before we send it out. So, especially when you're paying this much, and I get it's an integral frame lock, titanium, 20 CV steel, premium materials, premium build, made in the USA, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. I get all those things. Here's the thing. Here's a similar knife. I'll do a video on this one shortly, guys. This is the new crosshatch pattern for the small Sebenza. And every one of these I've ever had, which I've had a lot of smalls, a lot of Sebenzas, never have centering issues. In fact, I could take this pivot screw and loosen it completely, and the centering would be perfect because the tight tolerances those are built to. When you're spending this much money on this knife, which the MSRP is $425, yeesh, I think about that and I'm like, yikes. You're stepping into Hinder territory. You're stepping into Sebenza territory. In fact, more than Sebenza. Small Sebenza anyway. You're way over the Slice Bowie, which is a fantastic knife. And you're way over a ZT frame lock. And I just brought these all out, similar, show you some size comparisons. It's smaller than the XM18. It looks about the same, but it's actually smaller. It's much thinner. It's bigger than the small Sebenza. I would say closest knife is probably the ZT808. Very similar in size. The Benchmade may be a little longer in the handle, but it's super slim and super lightweight. So you're spending that much money, you kind of expect it to come centered. Now, Benchmade, however, has a fantastic warranty and customer service, so I can send it in. Will I? I don't know. I may send it back to the dealer that I bought it from. So, yeah. I don't expect the dealer. I made a comment on another video that I wish it was Blade HQ. They would have, you know, they can't check every single knife before it goes out. That's just not feasible. They should come from the factory. And on a Kaiser that I had issues with, that's one thing. It's a sub $200 knife, and they took care of me. This is a $400 knife, and it ain't cheap. Again, it's a beautifully constructed knife. Let's not harp only on the negative of the centering, because the action is awesome. Super smooth. Look at that. Drops free. Middle finger flick. Look how smooth it is. There's no blade play. It's solid lockup. Solid lockup. Nice, incredibly smooth action. Just awesome. That sound it makes when it opens, it's different because of that integral. So I like everything about this knife. I like the size, the weight, the titanium scales, the bronze finishing. People don't like the clip. I don't mind the clip. It's milled titanium. It's better than some other Benchmade clips. It's slim in the hand. It's not too big. It's got a crown spine, rounded spine like a Sebenza. It's got some great features, and I don't mind necessarily the price when, you know, you consider all those things, but then it's not centered, and that's like such a simple thing, and I cannot get it to move. It's not like a typical Griptilian or 940 where you can kind of adjust the body screws a bit and mess with the pivot. There is no body screws. So it's like if they don't get it, I've taken the pivot out completely, and it's just it's on ball bearings. It's super. That's one reason why it's super smooth. Taking the pivot out, try to adjust that way. I cannot. Guys, I've done knife stuff for a long time, and I cannot get that baby centered. It's not rubbing. It's not like that or anything. It's just, you can see, obviously, that it favors the right side a little bit. Let's zoom in a little bit. And you can't see because of the... But now you can. So, there you go. First impressions, everything's good. It's a beautiful knife. Like I said, I handled one. Austin's was perfectly centered. And I thought, man, if it's probably Benchmade. Benchmade's had issues in the past for me and others recently with their quality control a little bit as far as knives coming with blade play and centering issues. And usually the user has to tweak them quite a bit. It's not as easy to fix centering on an axis lock as it would be, say, a frame lock. Like I mentioned, the one way you can do it with the hinder. Look at that sexy hinder. Oh yeah. I haven't done a video on that yet. Jeez, I'm behind my knife videos. But, or even on a, frame lock. But it's usually doable. I've fixed quite a few centering issues on Benchmades and blade play issues. So there's no blade play. It's nice and solid. It's got a flipping just so smooth action. It's fun to open and shut and play with, and that pivot hasn't moved at all. Well, it has because I've tried to mess with the centering, but other than that, it's no play. So it's a matter of, do you just put up with that and be happy with it and use it with that little bit off centering? Some people that wouldn't bug. For me, I'm a little OCD when it comes to knives, especially when I spend this much money on a knife. Like I said, if this was half the price, I wouldn't be that upset. It's just so expensive, and it's like, why not get that right on this expensive, your premium knife? I mean, I know it's not their gold class, but it pretty much is their premium production piece, and it has that issue. And apparently I'm not the only one. Austin did say that, Epic Snuggle Bunny did say that he had heard a few people had centering issues. So, I don't know. Guys, if you have a fix, if you have a Benchmade Anthem, and you have a fix to this issue, please let me know. Reach out to me, and I will, I'll keep trying. I want to, because I really want to love it. I do. I really like it. I like a lot of things about it. But that, it's going to eat at me. It's going to, I'm going to say, God, everything about this is so nice, except for that centering. So let me know. That's my first impressions of the Benchmade Anthem. Will I do a follow-up review? I don't know. If I can't, if it bugs me enough, I may end up sending it back. And I'll be I'll have to go down to like Blade HQ and hand pick one that has perfect centering. And I probably should have done that anyway, but you think you wouldn't have to, again, paying that much money. So, alright guys, that's my first impressions of the Benchmade Anthem. Well, let me actually, before I finish it, one thing I did not hit on is the ergonomics. They're really good. It's really thin in the hand, so you got to take that into consideration. It's got quite a bit of handle left on my medium-sized glove there. And it's got, out of the box sharpness is very good. Very sharp out of the box. Again, super smooth action. Great slim EDC knife. I mean, could be a wonderful, awesome knife. And hopefully I can either get a different one that has good centering or figure out a way to fix that. And because I could definitely see this one making its way into my rotation. But as it stands now, I don't know. We will see. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.